Hey Seth, this is Keaton Everett with ABC, going over your pitching video from camp. We're going to go through and talk about your motion, your delivery, and break it down in a couple spots and kind of go from there, and we'll slow it down. You know, you're doing good at getting extension down the mound using your lower half, and there's just a few things we can kind of tweak with that upper body that's going to help you out a little bit. So we'll go through and go back and go from there. So, you know, right off the bat, what we look for with the setup is we look for where your balance is, excuse me, where everything's going, and we want to be as clean as we can. To be able to repeat our mechanics, we got to be efficient. So we don't want any excess movement, unnecessary movements, and so we'll watch what happens when you start going forward. So when you start lifting, you can see that little initial kickback, all right, and then that drop, all right. So try to get to that point where you're already set up back here a little bit more, and it's just a small little adjustment. So try to come set up initially where you're right here instead of right there. All right. Another thing too, eyes on that target. Once that foot starts up, we got to be dialed in on that target. All right. You can see, you take your eyes off and start looking down the ground. All right. It's a big, easy fix that helps out so much. It's one of the most overlooked things, but it helps out so much. I can't stress that enough. So make sure those eyes are staying on that target. All right. So now we look at balance point. Once that leg first hits the highest point, you know, we look at what happens. So you got nice closed off hips. Now what we want to see are the hips to stay closed and to drive forward, and then for our hands to start to break. All right. So as we start clicking, you can see hips are driving forward, hands are breaking. Everything's looking really good. The one thing that's lagging is this glove, all right? So you're kind of letting it stay back here, and it kind of stays back there and just curls over and causes you to pop open early, all right? So what we want to try to get to is a point where, all right, as we're coming through, once that ball comes out, it's probably come out there. You can't really tell because your glove's hiding it. But try to track that glove over your front foot a little bit more. All right? Try to keep it out here a little bit more. So now at your foot strike, so once that front foot first hits the ground, all right, your glove is going to be down here a little bit more. All right? And so that's going to cause you to kind of get away from that lean, to cause you to pop open that left side a little bit early. Just that one easy part of just getting that glove out there a little bit farther. All right. Another thing at foot strike that I'm seeing is once that foot hits the ground, you can see you're a little bit out front on that front foot. All right. We can tell that because your knee is just about almost over your ankle, but you can see that you're basically your foot's completely almost on the top of your shoes. All right. You're kind of on your toes. At this point, we want to still see ball of your foot still on the ground. All right, that heel is going to be turned up a little bit, but you're still going to have a lot of contact on the ground. That ball of your foot on that inside part of your foot, and that's going to help you. That's going to get you more in this position here, where you know you'll probably be around the same spot, but you're going to have a little bit more stride length. All right, and that knee is going to be behind that heel. All right. So, you know, your heel might be in the same spot, but, you know, your knee is going to be somewhere back there. All right, so that is telling us that you're going to be on your back side. All right, when you're off your toes there, basically, that's just showing us that everything's out in here a little bit too early, and that's also coming up with that front side turn too. So then through your release, you can see you're turning off early. At this point, you know, you'd still want to see that glove out there, but you can see through that release point, this leg kind of collapses, and you're releasing the ball with your back foot still on the ground, which is really good. All right, and then it comes up and finishes. It's just getting a little bit too much sync with it. You're just out front a little bit, and you know, we don't need to get so much sort of. It's kind of like you're almost kind of sinking down as you're throwing it. You know, we've got to try to throw against that front leg a little bit more to finish it. All right, and it's just something that it's an easy fix for you. You know, you got the hard part down. The hard part is this torque, keeping that back foot on the ground. You can see your hips starting to turn before your shoulders. All right. Now it's just a matter of staying in that back foot a little bit longer. All right, and then trying to stay, you know, again, that's going to show up, that foot's going to be out there a little bit more in front of that knee, and then stay on that ball of your foot a little bit longer too, all right, because you're getting great extension, you're getting, you know, you're through that back leg. Now it's just a matter of getting that front side to help you out a little bit more, and then just work on that initial setup, and you're going to be pretty solid. All right, it's, you know, I always like to see guys using that lower half, getting extension down the mound, and you're doing it pretty well. So that's very good to see. So, you know, just work on those first initial little tweaks. You know, come set, eyes especially on that target, and then kind of go from there. But it's everything is pretty solid for your age, and pretty impressive. So nice work. So good luck this year. Hopefully you have a great time with your season and are successful, and good luck with everything else. Thanks for making it out to camp. Hopefully you had a great time, and we'll hopefully see you again with ABC.